This video is going to show you how to submit the assignment called Find a Background Source. This is a mini research assignment in which you will go into a library database called Credo Reference to pull up articles on your topic, and you're going to select an article and create a citation for that article. In order to successfully complete this assignment, you first should have completed the first two assignments in our module. To review, we're going to go to our modules page, and now we're in week 2, module 2. So by now you should have already completed lesson 2, which covers the research need, topic selection, background sources, and the research question. And you should have already submitted the discussion forum assignment in which you selected a research topic and came up with a list of keywords. So these two lessons prepare you to complete this last assignment. So to go to that assignment, once you click on the link, you will create a document either in Word, Word Online, Google Docs, or some other word processor. You're going to format that document in MLA style, and those guidelines are covered within lesson 2. Then you're going to go to a library database called Credo Reference. Credo Reference is a library database in which you can locate articles that provide background information, overviews on different topics, and additional types of general articles on your topic. This is going to research articles from encyclopedias, manuals, and guidebooks, and they're intended to provide us with a general overview on our topic. So to access this resource, I have placed a direct link to it right in the assignment, but you can access this resource in many different ways. So yes, you can click on the link and it'll take you directly to this particular database. But I also want to show you different ways to get to this database if you're not inside my course. So to do that, I'm going to open up another browser. Then I'm going to navigate to the college's webpage, which is www.lasc.edu. So now we're going to go into the library's website to locate this particular resource. So from our webpage, you're going to click on the library link from the top menu. Then you're going to scroll down, and then you're going to click on A to Z databases. This gives you an alphabetical list of all of the databases that the library has to offer. So from here, you can browse the alphabetical list. This gives you the titles of the different databases and a description. For this assignment, you have to go to a specific database called Credo Reference. So we're going to scroll down until we get to Credo Reference. So here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that link. So then now, because I am outside of Canvas, I am being asked to log in. So here's where you're going to put in your student ID number. And then you're going to put in your system password or portal password, basically the same password that you use to get into Canvas. So go ahead and type that in and then click on sign in. Then you need to verify your identity. So just follow the instructions on the screen. Now I am inside the database. So take a few minutes to become familiar with what you see on the screen and different options. Here you can browse by subject by clicking on these broad categories. You can browse through the mind map and explore some additional resources on the right side. But for this assignment, now that you've selected your topic based on what you've completed in the discussion assignment, all you have to do is just plug in your keywords in the search box. In my example, I'm doing research on social media and teenagers or adolescents and their mental health. So I'm just going to put in a few of my keywords. So I'm going to put in social media, and I could put in teenagers, and I can explore my results. And if I don't like it, I could try, instead of teenagers, I could try my alternate keyword, which would be adolescents. So I'm going to type in adolescents. Then I'm going to click on search. So then here, my search results on the left side provide me with the title of the article, and it tells me where this article is coming from. So this particular one is coming from the Psych 101 series, Media Psychology. Scroll down and then you can explore different titles. You will see a brief blurb that gives you some context about the kind of content that I am going to find inside that particular article. So spend some time here looking at some of these titles, look to see what's relevant, what sounds current, what seems to be authoritative, and that provides you answers to your research question. On the right side, you can filter it by different types if you want to just look at all types or pro-con or just definitions, or you can narrow it down by the length, whether you want something that's shorter or longer, or you can also filter by date. So let's just say I just want to see just what's within the last 5 years. So I'll just move over the bar. So now I see more current results. So explore, open up a few of these articles until you find something that is going to be useful in your research project. So see, some of these are related to different aspects of social media and not specifically to teenagers and their mental health and the use of social media. So let's continue looking through. I can click on load more. So after I've explored and I've opened a few of these articles, I found this one that might be very helpful for my research project. So this was Mounting Research Documents, the harmful effects of social media use on mental health, including body image and development of eating disorders. So this one sounds like it's right on target to what I want to discuss. But then of course I had to take time to actually explore my search results and open them up and review them and access them. But I was able to find something useful. So don't just look at the first few search results. Do take some time to explore all the different articles. So in this one, here's the title of the article. This is where it's coming from. Here's the publication date. And here's the full article. Social media, and it gives me different categories. So if I'm going to focus on maybe teenagers and self-esteem and the use of social media, this one might be a very relevant aspect that I can use in my research project. So this is a section here that I found. So I am ready to use this particular article. So now I'm going to go back into the assignment. And then I need to determine what it is that I need to do. So I need to create a document, find the article, create the citation, then I also need to take a screenshot and mark or highlight the piece of evidence that I'm going to use for my research project. Then once I have that information, I can submit the assignment. If you have questions on how to do that, please watch the video that is also located here. Now take a look at an example of what it needs to look like when you submit it. So here's an example of an MLA formatted paper with a citation for an article found in Credo reference, the annotation, and then the screenshot. So this is basically what my submission needs to look like. So use this example to guide you. Now, if you need information on how to work with Credo reference, we have additional guides and tutorials here. If you need information on how to format the paper, here's where you can find additional videos that will be helpful for that. And then if you need Canvas help, you can take a look at some of these guides to help you on how to submit it. If you want to know how this is going to be graded, take a look at the rubric table so that way you know what to aim for. So the next part is since I've already found the article in Credo reference, is to create the document. So for this example, I'm going to use Word, the desktop application. And I'm going to format this in MLA style. So what I'm going to start with is by going to the Home tab, and under Font, I'm going to select Times New Roman from the menu. Then I'm going to select size 12. Then I'm going to set it as a default. So then now I've taken care of the font. The margins look good because they should be 1 inch from the left, 1 inch from the right, and 1 inch from the top. Now I'm going to set up my heading, which will be my name. So for this assignment, I'm going to pretend that I am Jane Smith. And I'm submitting it now to my professor. So before I continue on, I'm going to set up the line spacing. So I'm going to go back to the Home tab. Then under Paragraph, I'm going to click on the Paragraph Settings link. Then under Line Spacing, I'm going to select Double. Then notice under Spacing, I'm going to change that from 8 in the after section to 0. So the before and after both need to be set to 0. So if that's not the case in your word processor, be sure that that is set to 0 points, the before spacing and after, and that the line spacing is set to double. And if you have this option here, the little box that says don't add space between paragraphs of the same style, go ahead and check that box as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and set it as a default, so that way I don't have to worry about it again in this document. So that when I press the Enter key after I type my name, I am ready to put my professor's name, because now there's a blank space right here. So I'm going to type in professor, and I'm going to put in my professor's last name. In this case, it's my last name, Drapal. Then I'm going to put in the course number. So if you're taking an English class, it'll be English 101, English 103, etc. For this class, it's going to be College Research Skills 101. Then press Enter. The next step is to put in the date, and you're going to format it in the day, then you're going to type out the month, and then the year. Press Enter. So the next, I need to set the title. So the title needs to be centered. So now the cursor's on the left side. So I'm going to go back to the Home tab, and I'm going to select the center alignment. And here's where I'm going to put in my title. So then I'm just going to open up the example so that I could see what it needs to look like. So I'm just going to have it side by side and see the example. And this is all, of course, MLA style. And I need to put in their annotated bibliography background source. So I'm going to type that in. Background source. Press Enter. Now my cursor is still aligned to the center, so I just need to move it over to the left side. So I'm going to go back to the Home tab, and I'm going to make the word big again, and I'm going to align it to the left by clicking in the paragraph section and just click on left align. So then this is where my citation is going to go. So in order to collect the citation, I'm going to minimize Word again, and I'm going to access the Credo article. So here's my Credo article. So right within this article, I'm going to scroll up, and I'm going to use the citation tools within this database. And you can find those right underneath the title of this article. Here you have different options, right? You can save it, you can share it, you can cite it. I can read it aloud, I can translate it. So for my assignment, what I have to do is click on Cite, and it opens up the citation tool, which may not always be 100% correct, but at least it gives me a starting point. So it starts off with different options, right? APA, Chicago, Harvard. For this class, you're going to use MLA style. So go ahead and click on MLA, and then it gives you the citation. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Copy. And at this point, this is a good start. I am not sure if it's all 100% correct. Once I copy it, I'm going to put it into my Word document, and from there I can correct any issues it may have. So I'm going to, now that I've copied it, I'm going to go back into my word processor. And right here, I am going to right click, and I'm going to paste my citation. So it starts off with the last name of the author, and the first name, then the title of the article, and it's using title capitalization, meaning that they're capitalizing all of the big words, here, but not the small ones like the D, of, etc. And it's all inside quotations. That is all correct. So then now the title of the source, it needs to be in italics, but it is not. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and highlight the title of the book source. So in this case, right, this is the title of the article, which is inside quotation marks, and that is correct. So then the next piece is the title of the source where this article came or was published in, and it's right here. That needs to be in italics according to MLA style, and in this case it is not. So now that I've had it highlighted, I'm going to select the italics function right within the shortcut toolbar here, or I could also go back into the home and select the italics option right from the font settings. Then for this one, it says edited by the conversation, and it looks like the conversation is the name of the publication, so I do not need to repeat it. So in this case, I am going to get rid of this piece here. And in MLA style, if a book is in its first edition, or the publication is in its first edition, you do not list it. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean that up and get rid of that one. So then I have the title of the publication, the publisher, and the year. Now the next piece here, the year of when this particular source was published. So that appears to be correct. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Then I'm gonna go to the next element, which is the title of the database that I actually use to locate this source. That needs to be in italics also. So in this case, it is not. So I'm gonna go ahead and italicize it. Then it's got the comma, and then it's got the short the URL for the article, and then it has the access date. In MLA style, you don't have to include the access date, but a lot of professors like it if you put it in there. Some encourage you to do so, some make it a requirement. In my class, if you have it, you can add it, but it's not necessary because you're not really violating any rules if you include the access date, but in this case, it doesn't hurt anything. The only time in which MLA wants you to put the access date is if you're using an internet source that is likely to go away. So, but in this case, it's fine if you leave it. Now, I have the citation for this source properly formatted. What I do not have yet is the hanging indentation. And notice that everything, my entire citation is fully aligned on the left side. Well, that is not correct. So what I need to do is highlight the entire citation, and I'm going to set it to a hanging indentation. So I'm going to go back into the home tab. Then I'm going to go into the paragraph options or paragraph settings. And from here, now that I've highlighted that citation, under indentation section, under special, I'm going to bring down that menu and select hanging. And I'm going to click on OK. So that now my citation has a hanging indentation. Now let's check the assignment to see what else we need to do on this assignment. Okay, so now I'm back to the assignment. So I have, my heading, my title, my sources, citation. So then the next part is what they call the annotation. And this is, of course, included in lesson 2, that it gives you a concept or an idea of how to make this annotation. So in an annotated bibliography, in addition to listing the citation for the source, you're also supposed to include in there at least 2 sentences. In my class, one sentence that describes what the source is, and another sentence that evaluates the source, or basically states the reason why you selected it, right? That you looked at it carefully, that you evaluated multiple sources, and you selected this one. So why did you select that particular source? So that's where you would use your critical thinking when it comes to selecting the article. And then now you're going to represent in your 2 sentences why you selected it. So the sentences in my class, they don't have to be that long or that complex. It's just boom, one sentence tells me what this source is, boom, another sentence that tells us why you selected it. So in this case, I can follow the example here to give me an idea of how I need to come up with these sentences. Just keep in mind, in other classes in which you will be using annotated bibliographies, the professor will have more stricter requirements, or they may ask you to put in a full paragraph or 2 paragraphs where you're talking about the source, summarizing the source, and evaluating the source in greater depth. So for my class, let's just keep it simple and just provide me just those 2 sentences. So now I'm going to press the enter key, and I'm going to just type my 2 sentences. At this point, I'm not going to worry about the alignment. I'll do that afterwards. So in this one, I'm going to say this is a reference article that provides an overview of the different issues related to mental health and teenagers on social media. This article highlights issues related to self-esteem and eating disorders caused by or impacted by the use of social media. This is very useful for my research because it provides evidence on the topic and links to other sources that support the thesis. Something along those lines. Just be sure that you don't just copy and paste from another source, that you use your own words when you're creating this brief annotation. So then now let's align this to where it needs to be, and this needs to be indented 1 inch from the margin. And in this case, because I've set the hanging indentation up at the top, it continues using that format, so I just need to go in and change it. So one of the easiest way when you're using Word is to perhaps use the ruler up at the top. So if you don't have the ruler on, you can click on View and be sure that you select Ruler, so that way you see the ruler up here. So I'm going to highlight the whole annotation, and I'm going to drag this over to 1 inch. And I'm going to make sure that both alignments in the ruler are set to 1 inch. So then that is so far formatted the way it needs to be. So now let me take a look at the example again. So then I just need the screenshot. So let me go back into my article. Let me close out of the citation tool, and I'm going to scroll down to this particular section. So I'm going to use the snipping tool option in my computer. And I am going to select the article and take a screenshot of that article. Then I'm going to access this screenshot that I've just taken, and I'm going to use the tool, and I want to use all of this. So now that I've taken my screenshot using the snipping tool, and I've highlighted the section that I want, I'm going to go back into my Word document, press enter, and I'm going to paste the screenshot. And here it is. So now this is almost done. What I have to put in here is the my last name and the page number. And if you're in Word, you would go to Insert, then you go to Page Number, top of page, select plain number 3 that is aligned to the right. Then I put my cursor before the number 1, and notice the number 1 is already configuring all of the page numbers. So then I'm going to put in my last name and space. Then I'm just going to click anywhere outside of what they call the header or the heading. And now I'm back into my article. So then my next piece is I double check it, I do a spell check, I make sure that everything is aligned the way it needs to be. Then I'm going to save the document. When I go to File, Save As, then put it either in your documents or create a folder for all of your documents. For this case, I'm just going to call it background source assignment, or you can name it whatever you want, and be sure that you put it in a folder where you can find it easily. So now I'm going to go ahead and save it. So then now I'm going to go back to the assignment and double check that I have everything that I need to do, right? I've created my document in Word and I set it to MLA style using the margins, line spacing, font, heading, and header, etc. I went to create a reference. I spent some time there and I located an article. I used the citation tool to create the citation. I corrected any issues in the citation. Then I added my sentences where I'm talking about what the article is about and how it's useful for my research. Then I took a screenshot of the source and I marked or highlighted the piece that I want to use. So then I am ready to submit the assignment. So I'm going to scroll up and I'll click on the button that says Start Assignment. And then right here, I'm going to upload it. So I'm going to click on Upload File, then choose File. Then in the directory, I'm going to look where my file is and locate it. And here it is. Then I'm going to click on Open. And then I'm going to have to check the box here that says I agree to that this is my own original work, that I didn't copy and paste it. And then I'm going to click on Submit Assignment. Yay, and I've submitted the assignment. As you do your work, pay close attention to the instructions. Rewatch the video if you need it. Take a look at the example and use the links at the bottom here to help you with the formatting or how to upload or how to submit the assignments. And let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.